go get them again.
Welcome back to the Robes Away channel. I'm your host, Mark, and on the docket today we have an unboxing first impression video on my channel from the brand of Tiziana Terenzi, and this one right here, worth beaucoup dollars. This one right here, Atlantide. This is by far the most obscene, over-the-top presentation in the game. It's so over-the-top, it's kind of almost amazing. I'm a sucker for a good presentation. 100%. This is the marketing team at Tiziana Terenzi. They have to get their applaud here because whoever thought of this line and to do this with this piece is really good at their job, honestly. And we're going to take a look at it right here. And you have the light and the whole 9 yards. The bottle in the water, all that. So this is basically part of their Haute Luxe Sea Stars line. This was a line that was heavily pushed in the YouTube fragrance community. If you know, you know. Free Bottle Brigade, Tiziana Terenzi. Even though a family brand, hugely respect that portion. And, you know, utilizing, you know, a cheap way of marketing, giving out free bottles to, you know, you have fragrance reviewers that can't afford Chanel's that have this whole Sea Stars line, which boggles the mind, like all in one fell swoop, and you're like, wait a minute. So so this is the flagship of the line. Not all of them come in seawater like this one. They don't all have this over-the-top presentation, but they do. The bottles are absolutely gorgeous. At least this is like my first real, you know, seeing it in real life here. All I've seen it is on YouTube and things like that. So this line goes for around $500 USD, if I'm correct. And this one is more around $750 USD at retail because of the presentation. So you're paying for it and you're going to see what I mean. And there's seawater in this jug right here that I opened up. This is actually seawater. It has a light in the box that's actually, usually Terenzi's have a light right here for some of their fragrances, which is kind of cool. This one has a beam back here. This was only limited to 1,000 pieces from what I hear, so I have one of them. Obviously a waterproof bottle because it is submerged in water, so we're going to see how that looks like. As far as the brand goes, I don't have much. I have limited experience with Terenzi's. I own one bottle, Lodeno Nero, which is kind of like Black Afghano-ish. Honestly, from afar, and this is just me as a frag head that has the pulse in the fragrance community, I feel like this brand is, even though there's a lot of imagination with the presentation of this stuff, a lot of their fragrances, from what I hear, again, this is from afar, it feels like it's a high-priced clone brand, which I'm not a fan of that. Like Parfum de Marly, all that. You know what you're going to get on my channel. If you're not going to be, you know, I want a brand to have some sort of history to them, actually have their benchmark, right? And that's why I'm in this perfume game. I don't really, as much as I care about fancy presentations, I really like to see a brand really step out of what's out there and not really just copy of what's selling or what's in, you know, what's really popular in a fragrance community. And I just feel like a lot of brands do this. But granted, again, with a grain of salt, what I'm saying, I haven't really delved into this brand that much. I think I've tested out. On my channel, there's only one video, I think, maybe two on Lodeno Nero, and that's it. Unboxed it and probably reviewed it. That's it. In my lifetime, I think I've smelt maybe 2 or 3 of these, like not a lot. And I know that this Sea Stars line was heavily pushed by YouTubers, as many of them got, of course, those free bottles. However, like when was this released? 2020-ish or something? Like when's the last time you heard a YouTuber talk about this line? I'm waiting. That's right. So if you go back to those videos and they're really excited and they love it and they're really loving this stuff and pushing it, you know, $500 a pop, and then 2 years later it doesn't make a top 10 list for summer or something like that, you start scratching your head. At least I would be. I'd be like, wait a minute. You were so impressed. You were so in love with this branding in this line, and now it's nowhere to be seen. So with the beautiful bottles and the YouTubers, I know a lot of you probably purchase them, the ones that do have the money for this kind of stuff. Let's see what this one brings to the table. Again, this was purchased at fragflex.com. Yeah, this line, or this fragrance, very much cheaper on there. But we're going to see, you know, this is something that I'm blindly going into. If you haven't subscribed to me, what are you waiting for? I'd appreciate if you hit that subscribe button. Put me in the realms of all these frag influencers that kind of make things up. I'll tell you exactly if this is worth it or not. We're going to see in real time here. Smash that like button if you're subscribed or not. I really appreciate that. Now let me unbox this sucker. I'm going to do it off camera because it's going to get messy. There's water in here. You're going to take a look at it again. Oh, she's pretty. No, she's very pretty. But I kind of have to cut this up and kind of get it out of the box, and then I'll be back. And now we're back, fully unboxed. It didn't make that much of a mess. Honestly, there's still some water going through this. We're going to talk about the bottle itself submerged in the water. You know, it's been a couple of years it's been in there. This is a returned product, by the way, so keep that in mind. And I'm starting to see why. So let's take a look at the notes beside me here. And as you can see, fruity, floral. That's what I'm getting out of this. The nose, of course, in-house perfumier Paolo Terenzi, released in 2020, when this line was released. So the bottle itself does have some issues with it. It's bubbling on the side here, just as an FYI. I know this was made as waterproof. The star looks absolutely good. The cap itself is gorgeous, but you can see that there's some green marks here. So was sprayed a bit, and I see some, you know, some issues with the bottle itself, which if you're paying that kind of price, yeah, I could see why this got returned. Obviously for good reason. So just keep that in mind. I'm sure that was just, you know, it happens. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt. So let's sniff this one out. And again, beautiful. The cap's super heavy. The sea star is absolutely gorgeous on the cap. Like I'm a sucker for a nice presentation. Unfortunately, the bottle kind of got hit up a little bit. This one has like a little viewing area, so you can actually kind of see how much juice is left in the bottle. So as per all unboxings, we're going to put it on a strip, and then we're going to put it on skin and see if this thing's worth, what, $750 USD retail. I think on Flex it's 5 something. So let's sniff it out. Let's see what we get. Bottle's still a little wet, but let's sniff it out. Floral, white floral, tuberose heavy, definitely. It's actually kind of nice. I was kind of hoping to, not like this one, but it's actually quite decent. Now you have to like tuberose. It is definitely a fruity floral. So to all the men out there, keep that in mind. I'm not a, you know, I toe the line. I can go in, we'll say, feminine fragrances and sniff them out and wear them. There's some sweetness. There's some, yeah, it's fruity floral. There's some fruity aspects in here that I can't really discern what they are, but tuberose is your central note here. It's clean, it's floral, it's kind of watery a little bit. It smells like the beach, as tuberose would. Yeah, it has a little bit of a, it kind of brings me to the salty air, creamy, airy. It has a little bit of that greenness that tuberose is known for. Very creamy, waxy, suntan lotion. That's probably why it's bringing me to, I like this. I really do. And I was hoping not. The bottle itself kind of making me nervous to even touch it a little bit because it's bubbling and stuff, and it's still kind of wet. So I'm looking forward to kind of drying this one off. But let's put it on skin. My scent of the day. Good atomizer. Yeah. Fairly solid atomizer. Okay. So let's talk about Atlantide. And, a little more of a density, and that's why I went, oh, a little bit more of a, there's something in here. Ooh, okay, so they list passion fruit as the fruit. What else do they, black currant? This is passion fruit. Yeah. So at the end of the day, what you're paying for is to be exclusive here. Cool presentation, that's what you're paying for. You know, a piece of a collection, that's what you're paying for. As far as quality goes, in this initial impression, is this something I would? Obviously not. You know me, I'm gonna shut that down right away. Would I spend 700 USD? So that's probably for my Canadian friends. I'm trying to bring it up a little bit. We'll give or take, we'll say $800-900 Canadian for this. There's absolutely no way I would spend that kind of money for this kind of fragrance. Tuberose fans, I would definitely put on the short list of sampling if you do have the cash flow to buy this. Obviously sample, don't blind buy. Yeah, the tuberose is very nice. It's high quality. It really is. The blending is actually quite good here. It has a milkiness, it has a creaminess. It has that a little bit bringing you to the beach. The fruity nuances are secondary here as an FYI. It really is about the florals in here. 100%. Yeah. Milky tuberose, a little bit of that green. Some fruitiness. So, yeah. So right now, I like it. I'm happy, you know, adding this to the collection is for a collector. It's a, you know, it's a piece that you'll talk about. You know, just the interesting parts of this, and this is really what you're mostly buying it for. The actual fragrance inside, I'm looking forward to seeing what it's going to give me in the back end of this. Right now, tuberose heavy, like central theme, I would say high 70% of this fragrance is all tuberose and all its little nuances. Like it's a very good tuberose. The fruity nuances, I'd say another 15% of the fragrance. So you can see there's a huge gap between the central theme and everything else. So, you know, you're getting that passion fruit mainly. Black currant, not very much. I'm not getting much of that. There's probably other florals in here, but I'm just really not getting lots of that. There is a watery aspect in here, which kind of brings you to that, you know, seaside kind of thing. But it has that waxy quality that I really like. Yeah. So at the end of the day, Atlantide, not worth the price, no. But I'm happy that I've gotten to test it. I really feel like it's well blended, which is something that needs to be done at that price point. You can't have a scratchy blend, and it seems like it's really well done. It smells like there's quality ingredients in here. So those are things that you're looking for when you're looking at $300, $400, $500 and more for a fragrance. Yeah, this is actually quite good. Yeah, I would recommend it for someone that has deep pockets, first of all. So that would be one of my first questions. If somebody came to me and said, okay, Mark, I'm looking at tuberose. I really like tuberose as scent. What is your short list? The first thing I would ask is, okay, do you have the money to spend $1,000 on a fragrance? Yeah, I would if I really like the fragrance. Okay, so now let's start piling up the list. This is where I would knock this one off if, you know, it's on the edge of someone's budget. Like if someone says 400 is the highest I'm going to go, I'm not going to make them like search around for this thing. You're not going to find it. But it's good. There is some good parts in here. So, yeah. So I got mine at Fragflex, and you can find this one at fragflex.com. You can use my code TFG10 and you get 10% off on any purchase at Fragflex if you wish to do so. Yeah, not a bad scent. Now that you heard my take, I'd love to see yours in the comments below. I know a lot of you obviously haven't smelt this just because of price, availability, things like that. Even getting a sample of this at like decant sites, I'm assuming is probably 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks. Who wants to pay that for a little decant? But I'd love to see the comments below in regards to this lineup. Which one should I be checking out maybe next from this Sea Stars line? And as always, a great report fragrance will make a lasting impression. Choose your scent wisely. Thanks for watching, YouTube. Have a good one.